what happens to children in schools today who are suspected to be or confirmed to be homosexual in boarding schools today? Do you know?
Expelled.
They're expelled.
Yeah, they're expelled.
Or they're beaten thoroughly in school, or prayed for. Exorcism takes place. I don't know. This happens. That's the situation. It is set. Look, that if we are saying that in this room that we are going to have open conversations about the things that are happening, then we might as well. Yeah. Because even in this Utimishi school that burnt down, what were the undertones that we were already hearing? That this group of girls were the ones who then, at some point, were being ostracized or being dealt in a certain way that they didn't appreciate because of the sexual orientation that they had chosen. You might think it's cringe. You might say, yikes, what are we getting into? But are these the undertones that we're hearing? Look, we cannot say that those are the only, because it's not. Other things have come up. Even other things have come up as to reasons why, but this is one of the things that we would wish that you take this thing, put it in a can, seal the lid, throw it into the sea. We don't want to talk about it, but it happens. But there are boys who are being raped, like you said, in school today, and nobody is listening to them when they go to the teacher, the guidance and counseling stroke PE teacher stroke librarian stroke nurse, who has 100 other things to deal with. She doesn't know what happened to you in the confines of the dorm yesterday.
And you see, what that means then, Janet, is that you are in this school where homosexuality is happening. Because I'm going to give you a story. I know of an individual who committed suicide because of the same. And when that happened, the parents buried the child. They found out about it a little bit later. The school knew what was happening, but business continued as normal. And the homosexuality in that institution still continued. And the children had a problem with that there is a problem. The institution knows there is a problem. The leadership knows there is a problem. They are not addressing it. We continue to go through this process. If we close ourselves in this room that you're not talking about these issues, what are we doing to our children and their psyche?
No, it's a really sad spot that we find ourselves in. And I know that parents of my type want to never have this conversation at all. But I am sorry, it has to happen. Because if we want to help our children, we have to come to a place and really be as open as we can to help our children, understand them and support them. If we do not, now we will be dealing with different things. You wish you listened to your child, because if you do not do, you might want to listen to them when they are you're separated by a grill, like it is happening right now. And I want to pick from what she said, that she, from an international school, for example, there was a resource. The same same that we are talking about, that because our public schools are starved of resources, we do not have a facility of an experienced or an expert who knows the place of being easy with children, who does not listen to a child talking about their sexual orientation, and then they're enraged or they're shocked or something like that, But we do not have those kinds of facilities. So I want to go to the very much rudimental question and ask ourselves, what did we think when we made every school girls and every other school boys? Because that is what we have done in this country. We have put all boys together and all girls together.
We don't have any mixed boarding schools.
They're very rare. Few and far between.
Okay.
And those that are there are day schools. But I can bet you most of our boarding schools are either girls' school or boys' schools. And when we went to school, everyone got truant at some point, There's adolescence happening. All of us will not respond to adolescence in the same way. There are those who really suffered adolescence more than us, even when we went to school. There are girls who would sneak out, and you'd look at them and wonder, wow. I mean,
what do you do, boo?
What is it? There are those who would. There are those who would. It doesn't mean that they're badly brought up. No, it's just that different people react differently to different situations and to different stages of life. So I always want to ask myself, when children in a mixed school, you will find two children, a boy and a girl have impregnated each other.
Well,
it?
okay, well,
Yes,
the boy has impregnated the girl.
yes,
Okay, yeah.
The boy, they have impregnated each
Their
other
parents,
to the
yeah.
fact. Their parents together. In a girl situation, if this girl was in a girl's school, you know, the tendencies and what she's feeling would get her in a girl's school. How would she respond to it? So that a lot of these children are being labeled lesbians, not because they actually are, but because they are in a situation where there are only girls here, or there are only boys here. So there is a conversation that we honestly must have in this country. And the conversation about boarding schools is a conversation that we must have. Aren't we the people who had a conversation in this country that we want to reduce the age of consent for having sex to 16 years?
Yes.
Why were we doing that? Our argument was, our children of nowadays are growing too fast.
And they can make a decision about whom they love.
So at 16, if you're saying that child, we should reduce the age of consent from 18 to 16, can you know that in your mind, you're also dealing with that particular person who you called a big person at 16 is in a school facility. So we at one point we want to accept that at 16 these children have started doing a few things. We want to admit on one end, but when we lock them up in a
one
situation
gender.
and in one gender and call them a boarding school, we now want to pretend that we are blind and deaf, that these children have not started knowing a few things, and we want to beat them out of it. It is not okay. It is not going to work. It isn't going to work.
Oi.